You know, if you've ever had a guy cheat on you, I'm betting you wish you could have seen that coming, right? No one wants to get blindsided by their partner cheating on them. And the truth is that there are some signs that you can look out for. There's no reason you can't predict if a guy is going to step out on you or your relationship. Well, today I'm going to show you signs men give before they cheat on you. Hey, it's Cavallo from datingfire.com and datingadviceguru.com. Welcome back to the dating and relationship secrets you need to know. Let's just jump right into the signs. And if you notice that you see some of these signs in your own relationship, I'm going to show you a little bit of what you need to do about it at the end of the video. All right, the first sign is he says some bizarre new things. Now this is a really big sign because when a guy is playing around with the idea of cheating, he starts to give off telltale signals. And most of them are simply him considering some new ideas. The question is, what is he going to do after he gets these little ideas? Well, he's going to start asking you some questions, some weird questions. Let me give you a few of them. What would you do if I cheated on you? Hypothetically. Okay, if he ever says that or something like that, he's obviously focusing on his own hypothetical situation. Either it's something he's thinking about or it's something he's doing. At the very least, he's just not happy in the relationship. Or you ask him a question and he just gives you very short answers like, work is fine. When he starts getting very short or gives you these almost perfunctory replies, that's a sure sign that he's kind of checking out of the relationship. He's going to stop sharing details about his day or about what's going on with him. There's no effort to really stay close and connected. Or he asks you, hey, what time are you coming home tonight? Yeah, some people are genuinely curious and they want to stay hip to your schedule, or he wants to keep the finger on the pulse of the relationship. But if you're suspecting problems in your relationship, and if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you probably are, then you should consider this a warning sign. It might seem like he's being mysterious about when you're coming home so that he knows what his safety window is for, well, his own activity, let's just say. Whether that's working on his online matchmaking profile, going out to a bar, or just hanging out in a chat room, you should know what's up there. Next sign is sudden drastic changes of appearance. Now this one is a fairly big sign because it shows that he's looking at himself in a new light. And when it comes to a man, if he's interested in changing his appearance, it usually means he's trying to be visually appealing. This isn't rocket science here, right? And you have to consider most guys stay with a particular appearance for quite a while. We're not like women in terms of spending a lot of time on our appearance or changing it up. So keep an eye out. If you notice him starting to care about his appearance, things like buying new clothes, going to the gym, maybe all of a sudden he's getting into shape, changing his haircut, maybe even gets a tan, a fake bake. All of these things indicate him suddenly wanting to be more visually appealing. You don't have to be a genius to figure this one out either, right? The next sign is excessive blame storming. One of the ways that a guy prepares himself to cheat is he has to set himself up to justify the cheating, right? So blaming the other person in the relationship so that he can push them away a little bit is a great way of doing that. It makes him feel a whole lot less guilty, and it makes you work harder for his approval as well. It's really him just taking note of where he's dissatisfied, and then he starts making a stink about it, which of course he should have been doing earlier and trying to work through it. But men become very passive in relationships because they don't know how to voice their needs very well. Now, the truth is that many women don't either, right? But sometimes a guy will start making you the bad guy in his own preparation to justify his own cheating. And the next sign is trying out all new crazy wild things in bed. Sometimes we guys do figure out that we just need something new in our love life. Human beings need novelty and basically just to stay engaged and interested. And relationships, they're no different. So when he starts showing interest in getting wild and crazy in the bedroom, but maybe nowhere else in your relationship, that could be a sign that he's starting to feel a need to stray. Hey, are you trying to get a man interested again? Maybe you're trying to figure out what is it that makes him attracted to you. If you're trying to win a guy back, or you're just trying to win him over, period, well, I've got a great quiz that you can take right now to find out if you can get him back into your life. Go take it now. Go on over to datingfire.com/win him back. All right, next sign is he suddenly gets protective of his privacy. When guys are in a relationship and we're happy with our woman that we're with, we generally don't give too much thought to privacy. We're fine with having you peek into every nook and cranny of our life, for the most part. So when a guy starts being more protective of certain areas of security in his life, like his cell phone or his computer, or his behavior starts to get very private, you got to take notice of this. Maybe he's giving some of his passwords out, or he gave you some of his passwords to use online, and now he's changing a lot of those passwords. See, this is where he's preparing to hide information from you, and you should be watching out for that sudden need for security and privacy. Next sign is he starts showing a sudden interest in a new topic. Now this topic could be a different country of the world, or perhaps something strange and obscure like punk rock in the 70s. You know, in fact, music is actually one of those places where you're going to notice his interests start to change or shake up a little bit. When he has a sudden interest in a new subject matter or topic, you can be sure it's because he's found somebody else to talk to about that topic. The more obscure or strange the new interest, the more likely it's because he's found somebody who he's trying to relate to, and that's what he's trying to do, connect to them. Next sign is he's suddenly defensive. And when I say defensive, I mean a lot more defensive about a lot of different things. He may get opinionated on the subject that he doesn't normally even care about, or he adopts a stance opposite to you, even though you know he usually agrees with you on it. It's almost like he's trying to find ways to put himself in opposition to you. And when he's defensive about his interests and his defensive about his hobbies and other areas of his life, you gotta wonder, what is creating this new sensitivity to you? Okay, the next sign is he starts getting vague. He starts to get vague with details. He might start to cover up his new interests and his thoughts about looking elsewhere for a new relationship by kind of revoking a lot of the details that he would normally give to you. Of course, he'll also be vague and not very specific when it comes to details about his life. Things like where he's going, who is he hanging out with, what time will he be home, or is he even coming home at all? Basically, anything that raises your suspicion is something you should probably be on the lookout for. Makes sense, right? Hey, don't get left out in the cold. Hit subscribe, bing, and turn on those notifications and get these videos every week. You'll know when they're released. And it also helps support the channel. That's really important these days. Don't miss out. The next sign is he's got history. If you know in the past he's cheated, or he has a history of not accepting responsibility for past breakups, you've got a pretty good indicator that there's some risk with this guy. Don't kid yourself, okay? This is because you want to think about him in a certain way, and that doesn't mean that's the way he's going to be. Take a look back at the red flags you've noticed about his behavior in the past, especially if he has a tendency to avoid responsibility. This one is a huge sign in his character, and it's one you gotta look out for. Remember, all you need to do is see how his character is put together. It's going to tell you everything about him, and it's probably the most critical element in choosing the right man. Okay, so the next sign is he's got a huge ego. If a guy has a huge opinion of himself, which some mental health professionals are starting to call narcissism more and more, this may be a big indicator that he's going to cheat on you. People with a narcissistic personality feel that they are entitled to get what they want and get more things than other people. It's irrational, but they also feel like they don't have to play by the rules like other people do, which leads them to cheating. They feel justified in it. And this kind of guy is also, he's kind of aggressive and very much into the winner-loser kind of mentality. So that's the narcissistic personality type. But again, it's not that frequent. It's not as frequent, at least, as they're trying to make it out by clickbait articles online. So just watch out for that. The next sign, this is a bonus sign here, is he's got some bad character flaws. And specifically, I mean that he doesn't have much sense of guilt or remorse. And he's a really good liar. You just notice that he doesn't have the same kind of self-conscious behavior that most people have. Guilt is not a good thing to feel. Nobody wants to feel guilt. But this guy never feels any kind of accountability or responsibility for his actions, which is huge, especially when it comes to a relationship where you've got to be willing to occasionally lose a battle to win the war. The next bonus sign is he doubted it the whole time. Look, let's be really honest here. If your man had doubts about moving in with you or getting married to you in the first place, he was probably going along for the ride to begin with. He was probably not entirely invested in your relationship from the start, which means if things get even slightly inconvenient or unhappy for him, he's going to be extra vulnerable for looking for an exit or looking to cheat on you. Now, this is why you have to always have your finger on the pulse of your relationship. You got to know where he is at all times. If he's unhappy with your relationship or with you for any reason, you got to root this out and fix it. Or decide that maybe he's right and you do end the relationship. But be brutally honest with yourself. If he wasn't gung-ho and pushing forward to get into this relationship on his own, and you notice that you were the motivating force for even getting this far, you should be concerned. There are a lot of guys who simply they won't speak up when they've been pushed into a relationship. They themselves weren't planning to cheat on you at the start. Nobody ever was. But they almost always feel obligated to go along with you and make a commitment, even if it wasn't what he wanted to do at that moment. Now, you might have experienced this yourself. Sometimes we go along for the ride, but we don't think about if we should have maybe stopped and made a decision sooner rather than later, even if it was a difficult decision. You may have a relationship right now even that you're not entirely certain about. You might be wondering is he thinking about leaving, or even worse, dating other people with or without you knowing. So if you even suspect that he's not entirely committed to your relationship, you got to get moving right away to save this relationship. You can win him back, but you've got to do something right now. The longer you wait, the harder it gets, and the more likely he's going to start to show more of these signs that he's about to cheat. So get yourself moving on the right track. First of all, take my Win Him Back quiz right now. Go to datingfire.com/win him back. datingfire.com/win him back. Is he sending mixed signals to you? Is he cold and distant? Has he fallen out of love? Has he been showing any of the signs I've been telling you right here? You can find out if you can actually win him back with that short quiz. Go to datingfire.com/win him back. Look, it's time to take the power back for yourself. Start getting the kind of relationship you want. Go do it right now. And if you want more of this topic, you can always go to datingfire.com and check out more of my articles to see what I couldn't fit in the video. If you're new here, or even if you're not, do the big three before you run away or watch my next video. Like and subscribe so you can get this stuff every week. Next thing is to turn on notifications. You got to click that bell icon next to the subscribe button so you get notified when I release more of these videos. I guarantee I got one coming up next week. And if you're already subscribed, please share this with other women you know who could use this kind of advice. And number 3, comment below. Did you agree with the tips? Is there more videos you want? Is there something you'd like a part 2 of? Leave me a comment below and I'll see if I can do that for you. Hey, don't forget, in a few more seconds, I'm going to put a recommended video right here for you to click. This is Cavallo. As always, live and love with passion.